But at least now it can't get much worse.
But it did get worse.
It did get worse. They didn't get Nick. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. How's it going, chat? So, follow-up for our Double Nick Extravaganza. It's been happened already. A guy actually showed up at Nick Fuentes' house with a crossbow and a gun. And apparently this dude offed 3 other people on the day. It's insane. I have no idea what was going on. They keep missing. Now, I'll be straight. I'll be straight with you. Like Nick isn't, right? I don't like him. I don't like Nick Fuentes. I think he's a loser. I think if you follow him, you're a loser. He's very obviously, to me, a Fed. But I'm very curious about why this happened. Was it just a deranged, individual coming for him? But, oh, wait, I forgot to finish the thought. Even though I think he's a loser, I don't think he should be shot. That's a little bit too... That's a bridge too far. That's a bridge too far. But, yeah, the really sad part of this story is that 2 dogs got by this dude when he was trying to escape from the police. That's the real sad part of the story. But you know what I just found out? Before we get into this, apparently it's Steel Toe's birthday today. And he's doing a little birthday stream. Look at that. Look at that. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to Aaron Steel Toe. He's a year older, so this is another L for the toe. But, we should celebrate the Steel Toe birthday by giving me his super chats instead. He doesn't need them. Greedy toe boy, always begging for hundreds of dollars on the daily. He should give it to me. It should be me. Nah. If you want to support the show, that's cool. But you don't have to. That's how I do things over here. It's another grift for the toe. Yes, indeedy. All right. So let's start off, I guess, with this news article. How about that? All right. Berwyn officers, shoot and kill man wanted in triple homicide in downstate Illinois, police said. As I am well aware that Chicago is indeed in Illinois, perhaps? I don't know. A man wanted for killing 3 people in central Illinois was shot and killed by police in a west suburban Berwyn overnight. 3 family members were shot and killed Thursday night in Mahomet. I don't know what that is. Mahomet? That sounds like, what is this, like a Final Fantasy dragon or some shit? Near Campaign. Wait, are these real names? Do Americans really? Hours later, the suspect gunman found himself in a shootout with police in Berwyn, about 140 miles north from Mahomet. What happened in between was frightening and bizarre. Around 9:40 p.m. Wednesday, police in Mahomet were called into a home on the Riverside Drive where multiple people have been shot. Police officers said they found 3 people with life-threatening gunshot wounds. One victim, 26-year-old Sarah, was pronounced dead at the scene, according to police and the Champaign County Coroner's Office. 2 others, 61-year-old Janice and 23-year-old Caleb, were taken to Carly Hospital, where they're pronounced dead. A former classmate of Janice Mason said that she was an amazing person who loved and respected. The younger victims were her children. Meantime, around 11:40 p.m. Wednesday, officers in Berwyn responded to a call of a man with a gun in the home avenue. Officers spotted the suspect who ran off and forced his way inside a home 1 block over the... I'm trying not to say the address, okay? Where he shot and killed 2 doggos. So put F in the chat for the doggos. That's very sad. I mean, like I said, Nick doesn't deserve to be shot, but if there was a button between the dogs get shot and Nick gets shot, I know what button I'm pressing. I know what button I'm pressing if I had the decision on that one. Police ordered a gunman to stop, but he opened fire at the officers who returned fire, killing him. He has been identified as John R. Lyons of Winchester, 24-year-old. Now, I have my theory. I have a theory about this guy, and I wonder what your theories are. But we'll get into that in just a second. In a post on X, formerly Twitter, white nationalist and Holocaust denier Nick Fuentes posted a video in which he claims he was the intended target in Berwyn. Doorbell camera video with his post shows someone with a gun and what appears to be a crossbow outside Fuentes' home. Now, this is the first thing that's kind of surprising to me, is I thought that Nick was banned from all of Google's products, but isn't Ring isn't Ring a Google product? Like, he's not allowed on YouTube, and that's owned by Google. It's kind of funny to me that he has Ring by Google as his preferred doorbell camera. Stop hating on Nick. No, he's a loser. The funny thing is, though, he's so lazy. And I guess I don't have any room to judge him here, but he's so lazy that he hardly ever streams. But the fact that he was streaming may have saved his life in all of this. But I mean, wouldn't that be a funny world, though, if like you were denied your doorbell camera by Google because of your political views, and then you go on to die because you didn't have the forewarning that only Google can provide? Ring has nothing to do with Google. It's Amazon. Same thing. It's all the same. No, wait, isn't it? I thought Google was owned by Ring, or Ring was owned by Google. Sorry. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. If you're bad from one thing, they're bad from. All right. Apparently, it's Amazon, and I blundered. I felt sure it was owned by Google. Did they used to have it? Because wasn't Ring like a Shark Tank convention? Like, didn't it just start on Shark Tank? And I thought it got bought out by Google, but I guess I'm wrong. Does Ring still hand over footage without a warrant? I would assume so. I don't know. Nest? Was it Nest? Is that what I'm thinking of? I don't know. I don't have a camera in my doorbell, so okay. I guess I must have mixed them up. Apparently, Amazon is okay with your political beliefs. So there. I mean, I do have Amazon Prime, so I guess I'm agreeing with Amazon on this one. Let me see. Where were we? It appears to be a crossbow outside his home. The timestamp on the video is about 10 minutes before police said they were called to find him. Police have not connected Lyons with the incident in Fuentes' home. In a quiet west suburban neighborhood in Winchester, CBS News Chicago stopped by Lyons' home and no one answered. Neighbors who did not want to go on camera said that this was the first they've heard about the horrific shooting and were flabbergasted. Lyons' motives for the shooting in Mohammed and his connection to the victims remain unclear on Thursday afternoon. So we may as well talk about this now. What do you think his motives were? I have two competing theories. And you know what? We'll take a quick look. We'll take a quick look at the first video. There's a couple videos. But this will probably be a pretty short segment before we go into the Nick REKIETA segment on our Double Nick feature. But as you can see, he walks up at about 11 p.m. He lies his crossbow down. And I believe potentially Sean, identified this as a 22, which I will take his word for, because he is a practicing attorney and a very avid shooting man. And let's see. So he rings the doorbell, and you can actually see here that the mailbox has been messed up, because that's from all of the people that have been trolling him, going to his house, doing Galaxy Gas whippets, people that are very grumpy that he pushed a elderly woman down the stairs. I got corrected, apparently. Someone said that, like, 55 isn't elderly. Look, if they're older than me, they're elderly, okay? I mean, she's not a spring chicken. It's not that old, but it's not that young either. You see, no one answers. He gets impatient. I just noticed, but his shoes are untied. Look at that. That's fucking embarrassing. How are you supposed to be an operator if your shoes are untied? Like, look at that. Look at that. You can see it. You can see his shoes are untied. Now, he's wearing a helmet. So he apparently drove 140 miles, which isn't that like 300 kilometers or something? That's a long way. Just to go. And in one of these videos, there's like another one. He yells like, "Yo, Nick." So he's looking for Nick. My two theories, and like I said, I want to see what your guys' theories are. But first theory, the more likely theory, and then we'll go into the conspiracy theory. But the most likely theory is that this guy was a supporter of Nick Fuentes or America First and got really butthurt when Nick started to support Kamala, when he was trying to tank the movement, when he was basically just being an F slur the entire last 6 months. Okay. I don't really cover Nick that much, Nick Fuentes on this channel. This is, I think the first time we did the stream about him was the other day, the first Double Nick feature. Oops, got some reverb there. There we go. Now it's working better. So that's my first theory, is that he got taken in by the ruse, the grift that is America First, because it is a grift. Make no mistake. It's all a grift, and it's a honeypot. And Nick's selling all the information down the river, I can guarantee you, because how the fuck is he not in prison for the J6 stuff? Now, I'm not saying that J6s should be in prison, far from it. But if there's one person of that group that deserves to be in prison for that, it's Nick Fuentes, because he has a microphone and he's yelling and inciting people to go. He's like, literally says, ignore the police, enter the Capitol, we're taking over. And he sent many a young man to their long 5-year jail sentences, waiting to even have their day in court. They're just like being permanently held. I think there's still people being held for this. Somehow he gets away with it. So he's absolutely a Fed. He's absolutely a Fed, in my opinion. Now that comes to the second theory, the conspiracy theory. Nick is a Fed, but he's trying to hold out until Trump gets into office in January, and then he's hoping that Trump's going to pardon all of the Jan 6s, including himself. Because if he gets pardoned, then he no longer has to bow to the FBI, the Fun Boy Initiative that sounded great to him initially, but wasn't in actuality, or whatever agency he works for. So, bearing that in mind, is this guy also an asset? And they sent him the kill right away command. I'm gonna get shit for this. If anyone's seen a Cell Saga, I need that clip where they've got the government, the City Hall kill right away department. They press a button and some pencil pusher goes to assassinate people. That's what I'm thinking of. This guy was activated by the controllers to scare Nicky Boy into playing ball, because they think they've only got a month left of him, and they're like, look, you got to start giving us the good information. You got to start posting some real schizo stuff so we can collect all the people before Trump gets in. So they're gonna burn this asset to try and get their other asset to actually work. Now that, again, that's my crazy conspiracy theory. There's no evidence to support this, and I don't really believe it, but I don't know. It's kind of a funny little theory. Yeah, it's exactly Jason Bourne but gay. That's exactly what I'm thinking of. Oh dear. The ATF killed the dog. No, it was this guy. This guy killed the dog, I think. I'm pretty sure that he broke into, he tries to get into Nick's house, then he flees, and in his fleeing, he broke into someone else's house. He killed the dogs, I believe. At least that's what I heard. And then the police shot him when he shot at them. But this is the first video. I believe there's another one as well. This is the one, I think, when he yells out, "Yo, Nick," or whatever. But wait, how far is that? 100? What is it? 140? Is it 140? I want to check this, because that's like a long, 140 miles. 140 miles to kilometers. Yeah, that's like, wait. Shit. Never mind. Yeah, it's like 225 kilometers. Sorry, I typed in 14M, 140M, and the Google thought I was talking about meters. And then I was like, what? 0.5? That's all right. All right, let's have a look at this news statement, see what they say.
Now to breaking news. You're looking at a man with a gun who moments later gets into a shootout with police. The same man is suspected of killing 3 people downstate. Let's get right to our Sabrina Franza in Berwyn to piece together this wild chain of events. Sabrina.
Hi, Erica. From about 2.5 hours away to right here in Berwyn, police say the same man is responsible for the deaths of 3.
So Sabrina Franza is the reporter. Do you think she's doing the tour of Franzia right now as she prepares for winter? For Christmas, I should say.
People and 2 dogs. Now, this all started in Mahomet, Illinois. Police say that was where the spree began. 3 people died there. They were 23, 26, and 61 years old. We are told from a former colleague of the eldest, Janice Mason, that they are all related. And we spoke with that old classmate of hers over Facebook Messenger. He told us she was an amazing person who was loved and respected. A few hours later, around 11:30 last night, Berwyn police arrived to Home Avenue.
Can they not think of a better name for a street? You can't make this shit up. Home Avenue. Wow. All my houses on Home Avenue. Jesus Christ, Americans. Can you try? Look at some Australian names, like Titwobble Avenue. It's much better.
Called because they saw somebody who called in that they had seen a suspect with a gun. They say when they ran into 24-year-old John Lyons of Westchester, Illinois, he ran from them and forced his way into a home around the corner on Winona Avenue. Inside that home, we're told he shot and killed 2 dogs before fleeing.
You know what happened is that when Fuentes was looking for where to stay, he saw the name of this street, But he didn't. He thought the E was an O. He's like, oh, this is the perfect place for me, and he decided to live there. But then he was like, it's Home Avenue. Damn it.
Once again, ignoring police's calls to stop, and at that point, police say he shot at them, so officers returned fire and killed Lyons. Later, they connected him to that triple homicide in downstate Mahomet. Meanwhile, in a post posted to the platform X, formerly known as Twitter, white nationalist and Holocaust denier Nick Fuentes posted a video where he claims he was the intended target in Berwyn. The timestamp on this Ring camera video is just before police say they were called there, and you can see someone standing there with a gun and what looks like a crossbow.
Now, I just noticed, but there's actually like a fun little Christmas lights display on this house. So they're like setting up their Christmas trees, and they're like sitting in, sitting inside, drinking cocoa, and looking at the lights and everything. And on the opposite side of the street, every night, this guy's getting trolled by like random weirdos, and then someone shows up with a crossbow and a gun. Personally, I would have gone with the crossbow. But I guess he thought the 22 would be better. I don't know.
Now, as I mentioned, we have confirmed through somebody that knew the eldest victim that those three people were related.
Also, this is the oldest voice for the youngest woman. It's kind of crazy. It's like, do you think she practiced that? Or it's just natural? It's like she's got a really good newscaster voice, but I think that voice is like 12 years older than she is.
They say that was the victims, the eldest victims' children. As for a motive, police are still investigating. We're live in Berwyn. Sabrina Franza, CBS News, Chicago.
All right, there we go. That's the news article. She looks old. No, she doesn't look old. She looks young. She sounds old. She's a smoker? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I'm surprised though. Like if you drive 100, so you shoot 3 people, then you then drive 140 kilometers to this guy's house, and you don't kick down the door. You just like go away when he doesn't answer. I don't know. That seems a bit like he's going directly to Nick's house, and he doesn't kick down the door. He doesn't try and go in through the window or something like that. It's the follow through, right? Like, it's like it's like 5 hours. I guess he was tired, maybe. Like he just like politely knocked. It seems like he didn't even try to get in. He's on drugs, perhaps. But yeah, the thing is, Nick said that he was streaming, so he didn't come to answer the door. Usually he sleeps in all day. So I guess if this person knocked during the same time as that lady that got pepper sprayed, Fuentes would be gone, and we'd be laughing about that. Not that he deserves it. I mean, he deserves exactly what he gets. Right? He fucked around and now he gets to find out. But in theory, he shouldn't really be shot, I guess. I'm just saying if it happened, I would think it would be pretty funny. That's what I'm saying. So, Nick Fuentes on Twitter posted something on Twitter saying, I submitted a police report in September about harassment taking place at my home, which is being encouraged on social media. The police department rejected my report and said, it's not illegal to come to someone's front door. And I agree with him. That's the police there. It's not illegal. Now, I do think there is an element of people trying to fuck around to see this guy actually get into some real trouble. You looked at the video we saw last time, the body cam. It did seem like they were trying to get hurt by him so that they could then lodge the police report. Well, what I'll say. And it seemed like their stories were kind of rehearsed a little bit. Like whenever the police report came in with the body cam, they were like, this is Nick Fuentes, the Holocaust denied like guy that posted on Twitter saying, my body, your body, my choice forever, yada, yada, yada. Both women said the same thing, trying to make sure they got that front and center so that nobody sympathized with him. But yes, he reported this in September saying, good morning, Mr. Fuentes. At this time, it appears there is nothing illegal has occurred. It is not illegal to knock on someone's door. Thank you. And then, so basically they're saying, suffer Fuentes. And I believe he posted a couple other, oh yeah, here we go. There's some more ring footage. This is the last of the relevant footage that shows the moment police spotted my would-be killer, John Lyons, until the shootout that left him dead. Both media and police have refused to acknowledge the fact that this was an attempt on his life. I think everyone that reported this actually says it was an attempt on his life. So he's been a bit of a silly boy there. But let's have a look at this. All right, so he leaves. He doesn't get in through the front door, so he gives up. He doesn't even try kicking down the door. Although we did see that Nick has like 5 deadbolts or whatever in his dark dungeon. So it doesn't surprise me that he wouldn't be able to get it down. He does have very skinny legs and his shoes aren't even tied, which is an amateur mistake when you're an operator, right? So let's see what happens. He goes around the corner. It sounds like the cops just showed up, actually. Yeah, you can see that. That must be them. Oh, sorry, I always missed this, by the way. But American Dream with 2 says, just saying I love you before you die. What? Oh, missing Jeff. Okay. Oh, I see. Thank you. Thanks. I know what you meant, but reading this is very funny. Thank you for enjoying the show. No, it's not a threat. It's like the theory that you say you should always say you love someone before they die. You know, don't wait till after they die. I get it. Don't open the door. Okay. So you got the cop coming in the alleyway. This is the same alleyway, I think, that or the side of the house that Nick did his interview on. Yeah, they're coming for me. All right, that's the end of that one. Let's I guess this is the second one. Is this the time order they go in, or is it next for this one next? I don't know. Oh no, this must be this one next. All right. We got awesome Officer Velma here in her glasses. They look very, very busy. Very, very busy. Checking out the gravel outside of Nick Fuentes' house. 5 officers. Oh, I guess they're looking at his crossbow. So he dropped the crossbow, it looks like. He dropped the crossbow. Yeah, it's Officer Fupa. Officer Millabout. Exactly. Oh, then they spotted him, and then they run. They're like, shit, now we actually have to go to work. Oh, they got a little friend that they got left behind. He's like, see, this is the guy that's like, shit, I gotta look busy. Boss is watching. Okay, wait up for me, guys. Nobody seems to be watching the crossbow, which seems like one person would stay with the evidence. I don't know. There's like 5 officers, but whatever. The donut sign came on. How the fuck did she teleport back there? Okay. Okay, so the female officer reappears from the backgrounds. the back rooms, I guess. She's a boop. So they load in female cop. Gun drawn. Is this the inside of Mersha's head? Just like apparates? Or she come out of the, well, I guess this is like the real entrance to like Hogwarts, right? Shit. They got officers coming out of the brick walls. I don't know how this works. Okay. Female cop apparating in the middle of the night seems reasonable, seems legit. And then they run this way? What the fuck is going on? Like, if you could just apparate, why doesn't she just apparate over to the guy that she's trying to catch? Seems pretty silly to me, but okay. All right, so this is the next one we got. I guess this is the backyard camera. I like if this is Nick's backyard. These chairs seem a bit superfluous because you only need chairs if you had friends, which seems like not something he's going to use. Though the lawn is very nice, I will say that it is very clean, and that's what I expect from the Mexican leader of the white race. Is how can you expect to govern if you can't look over your own backyard? Okay. So we have some more fun little glitches here in the camera. So the guy runs out from the back. He then casts the shadow clone jutsu to distract the cops while he jumps over the fence. You can see there he's left his mirror image behind. That will distract the officers for at least 3 seconds until they throw a kunai at the shadow image and then dispel it, or use, like, maybe they can see through the genjutsu. I'm not exactly sure how well trained these officers are. Certainly, if they sent the Ambu cops, this guy would have, they would have already had him. Why didn't he just run straight? Well, he's in Nick's house. It affects everyone's perception, right? This is a fun. I'm having more fun looking at these ring videos than I thought I would. All right, is that the last? Oh no, wait, there's one more. Or is this the same one? There's two backyard ones. Oh, okay. Shit. Okay, so you can't see it very well. That actually shows the shots being fired. So it's very low quality. If you look over here, you actually see the flashes from the guns. That's pretty crazy. So I guess that's what he jumped over here. He ran into this house. He must have shot the two dogs in there, and then the cops shot him dead. So which is good because if he shot the two dogs, he deserves what he gets. Unfortunately, his ninjutsu was not as effective as it appeared on camera, and it didn't stop the cops because he only got 3 houses away. I think I could have got further. I could have got further. I think if it was me, I think I'm fast as fuck, boys. I'm really fast. What a coward, killing the dogs. Yeah, usually we say about this about the cops, but apparently it was the guy that was running away. All right, I think that's about the end of the Fuentes stuff. There's not that much more other information. I mean, he'd be crazy. He'd be crazy if he didn't move at this point. I think the reason he stays there, to his credit, actually, is that I think he's like his mother is like sick with cancer or something, and that's why he stayed in Chicago. But it seems like absolutely insane that that he would stay in Chicago, considering what he does. But there was one other thing actually before we get into the stuff. All right, the other Nick. Before we get to the other Nick, so there was the police report as well, which I'll show you briefly. Berwyn Police Department serving with pride. Robert J. Loverow is their mayor. Okay. Is there anyone on Homo Avenue that isn't gay? I don't know. For immediate release, December 19th, 2024, Illinois State Police investigate fatal shooting in Berwyn near the Home Avenue, which again is pretty stupid, but okay. On December 18th, approximately 11:38, Berwyn police officers responded to the block of Home Ave for a report of a male subject with a gun. Responding to the officers located said subject and fled on foot, successfully escaped from the police officers. The subject then forced entry into a home on Winona Ave, where he fatally shot 2 dogs. Officers then observed the offender fleeing eastbound into the yard on the other block of the Home Ave. The subject disobeyed the officers' verbal commands to stop and proceeded to shoot at police officers. Berwyn police officers returned fire and fatally struck the subject. No officers were injured during this incident. Early reports indicate that the officer was wanted for a triple homicide committed in Mahomet, Illinois, earlier that day on December 18th. The incident has been turned over to Illinois State Police Public Integrity Task Force. Is it really called the Integrity Task Force? Okay. And is considered an active and ongoing investigation. There is currently no threat to the community. If anyone has any information or video surveillance, they are asked to contact their confidential Berwyn Police Hotline, which is not a funny acronym. I was hoping it was, but it's not. And that's the end of the Nick Fuentes stuff. All right, so we're going to jump over to Sean, potentially Sean, for a brief update before we go into the Will Herren, TV's Will Herren interview with Mrs. K. We're going back down the K hole tonight. I wasn't going to show the interview actually because I thought we were pretty much done with the Nick plea hearing until I guess they got the next one in January, right? But there was some interesting details here, very strange ones. So I thought we might share that. And there's not that much going on anyway. A bit of a content drought, so it is what it is. Good question though from Two's Rats. He says, "Just curious, what are you doing for Christmas? Any traditions in Japan?" So Christmas in Japan is a date night. It's not a holiday, but I mean, I'm self-employed, so I can take a holiday anywhere, anytime I want. It's a Wednesday, so everyone's going to be working. But yeah, it's a date night. So you go out on a date and you eat KFC. I don't know why they eat KFC, but they've got Colonel Sanders is dressed up like Santa Claus at the moment. And if you want to order like a bucket of chicken, you have to do it a month in advance. There's no chance of me getting KFC tomorrow night or on Wednesday. And I do like KFC because you have to literally apply for it because it's so popular to just get KFC. Like if you don't have KFC and a man on Christmas Day in Japan as a woman, you're a loser. You're an absolute loser. So women go a bit crazy around Christmas time if they're single. Anyway, that's how I remember it, as I have not been single for a while. But I do have plans. And there's a lot of illuminations around this time as well. It's very nice. It's if you do come to Japan in winter, they go crazy for illuminations. There's actually a really cool thing called the Kobe Illuminary, where they have like 100,000 light bulbs, and it's like walking through the pearly gates of heaven. It's kind of crazy, and I live pretty close to Kobe. Let me see if I show this real quick. Kobe illuminations. It's really, really cool, actually. It's like this. It's like this. So it's like these massive gates, and it's literally like walking into the pearly gates of heaven. I imagine, because I'm going to the other place apparently. But if you're a good boy, this is where you end up, and in Kobe. And this isn't actually for Christmas though; it's actually to commemorate the Kobe earthquake. But it does happen around Christmas time, and it's really cool. And if you come at this time, you will have a great time going around Japan and seeing all these wonderful illuminations, literally hundreds of thousands of lights. People, apart from that, there isn't really anything else. There's some Christmas parties and some other stuff. What am I going to do? I've got a personal Christmas thing planned up. Hold on a second. I've got my little present here. I'm going to give to somebody, and I think they're going to quite like it. So there you go. I got some stuff to do. So I probably won't be back for the next couple of days, unless there's like an emergency, like something crazy happens. I probably won't be back until Thursday or Friday. But we might do a Friday drink stream. I'll see if I can get as many people on as I can. And yeah, it's not a ring. It's not a ring. Okay. It is very nice though, but it's a secret. It's a secret. Is it chicken? Yeah. Okay, you got it. All right. So Sean has an update about the thing we heard last time, which is, apparently there's also a German Christmas market. Yeah, there's a lot of Christmas markets. I went to the German Christmas market in Tennoji, but not Umeda. That's in the Hankyu place, right? The Hankyu place. Anyway, so last time we were talking about leaks that came out of the Baldo bunker. And Nick himself said there was leaks in the uppermost level. Now, something that I did not tell you is that I know who the leaker is, okay? I knew who it was all along. But I can't say for privacy reasons, okay? So I know who the leaker is, and I think there's a lot of validity to what is being said. But Sean apparently has either got better leaks than me, or an additional leaker has told him some very, very funny details. And this one, like if you thought we got to put the things back on, right? We got to put the ceiling cats back on. There we go. So talking about REKIETA, my boy, Nick REKIETA. All right, so let's see what Sean had. This will make you giggle. This will make you giggle.
Help the court system.
Right.
Apparently, Nick was pitching an offer that he could help the court system get monetized and run their YouTube better, and help them be better at streaming and running Zoom.
So this is the new detail that I just heard today from Sean. Well, I mean, I didn't hear it from Sean. I heard on this stream. And by stream, I mean Alyssa Clips, because she's doing all my work for me. And Will Herren too. It's very nice. It's very nice to feed off the produce of others, right? No, like, so Nick, like last time we heard that Nick was going to make his channel into an anti-drug channel, like he was going to work for DARE or whatever, and he was going to be the anti-drug REKIETA show. But apparently his other offer to sweeten the deal, to try and get away without anything, was he was going to be the administrator, the operator, and the man with the plan for the Minnesota Law YouTube channel. He was going to get them monetized. He was going to help them with Zoom because, people keep calling into April's Zoom call and start advertising Stonies and also saying the N slur. So Nick was going to help all the boomers. He was going to be the tech guy in the police family, which is just outrageous. Oh, dear. All right, let's see what else they had to say.
Which is fucking hilarious. They're like, listen, I'll be your streaming consultant.
It's too funny.
And the other thing is apparently his idea was he was going to use his channel to promote sobriety, but he was going to share it with the local DARE branch, and he was going to cut in combating drug use efforts. Part of his super chat money he was going to make was going to be donated and split with them.
So he's literally offering to bribe. He's like, look, Judge, I could run my YouTube channel and give you a cut of the super chats if you just let me drink. Because make no mistake, like the reason he tried to offer this sweet deal to the prosecutors was because he wanted to get no drinking dropped from the probation for he's got a 2 to 3 year probation is what it's looking like in the plea. We won't know until January, but that's what it sounds like. And he said, look, just let me drink. Just let me drink and be a free man. And then I'll talk about how bad drinking is. It doesn't make a lot of sense. It doesn't make a lot of sense because, if he's got a whiskey in his glass or whatever, and he's just swirling around saying, look, drugs are bad, kids. Don't be like me. What a fucking weirdo. It doesn't make any sense. Oops.
That's apparently part of his idea. And I'm reading what they just sent to me. Oh my God, that is fucking hilarious. That is fucking hilarious.
Now, I don't know if this is true because I have not heard this rumor, but it is very funny. And as we all know, the funniest thing is the true thing, as it turns out in the sector.
Snoop says the Steel Toe rumors are just that. I'm learning a lot more. I know a lot more than Steel Toe does. I can tell you that much.
So this is what makes me think that Sean has an additional friend. Perhaps maybe it's a friend on the inside, like on the Minnesota. Maybe he even knows the actual person, Minnesota Public Records. We don't know. Sean has not talked to me about this. I've not asked him about this, but it sounds like he knows more than the big toe. So it's unfortunately there's some L's for the toe today, even though it is his birthday. Very unfortunate. Very fortunate. Sean is only 35. Yeah. He's a couple years older than me. So he's 38 or 39 or something like that, I think. Or he might just have turned 40. I'm not sure, but that's what his hair is. Just he went silver or whatever in high school apparently. But I don't think apart from the silver hair, he doesn't look that old, honestly.
These are fucking hilarious, though. I was reading this earlier, chat, right as we were starting, and I just want to go, this is fucking funny. If this really happened, chat, we're gonna have to talk about this at a later point in time. This is so fucking bad. This is so bad, chat. I can't believe.
Apparently, it's Baruberry's birthday, so don't wish Aaron happy birthday. I mean, you could, I suppose, if you really want to, but definitely wish Brewberries a happy birthday. Happy birthday! We've been here for a long time, Brewberries, and I hope that your birthday is, as good as it can be with it being so close to Christmas. Because let's be honest, if your birthday is near Christmas, you get one gift, or the gift that you would have got is going to be reduced in price because they've got to buy 2 birthday presents. You know what I mean? And I know this because, spoiler alert, the person that's getting this gift, they get to get another gift next week. It sucks. So yeah. But apart from that, I hope you have a great time. And if you have any birthday requests, let us know. Raygun Moo's Electric Boogaloo gifted 5 meme code permission. Thank you very much. Speaking of Raygun, there's actually some funny stuff going on with this. So Raygun is the Australian dancer at the Olympics that was really shit. And apparently they're starting their own lawsuit. So this is something that I've heard about, but I haven't really researched too much. But apparently there was an Australian comedy theater group, and they were making a musical about Raygun, the Australian breakdancer. And she's decided to sue them for $10,000 to shut down them from infringing on her brand or something. So it sounds like she's going to be a bit of a up-and-coming lolcow, even though she's already destroyed her career at the Olympics. And furthermore, there's actually like a lot of drama about her as well that we never really talked about, because apparently her and her boyfriend basically came up with the rules for getting Australian breakdancers into the Olympics. So they rigged the game, and then they sent her to go do that travesty, that national embarrassment. I hope she gets a booting, is what I'm saying. We'll continue to hear what Sean's saying, though.
If you really thought this was gonna work, Nick, bro, come on, man. Also, apparently somebody said him at court he smelled like the back of a McDonald's. And he had the overpowering stench of tacky cologne. And
what does that mean? What does it mean to smell like a McDonald's? Like, well, wait, we have to clarify. Does he smell like the old McDonald's where they use the beef tallow, or does he smell like the new one? But I guess RFK is going to bring back beef tallow, right? It's going to be a new renaissance for McDonald's in Trump's America.
His breath smelled heavily like winter mint, which I'll leave that up to you why he did. But apparently he came in all scuzzy and nasty. Yeah, I believe the person who's giving me information. It's fucking hilarious. So, Baldo Bros, I don't feel so good. Yeah, and I also forgot to mention chat. Nick is apparently selling his second house. So
so the house has been for sale for a long time, but it seems like there's been an offer. Once the sale is finalized, which might take about 30 days from what I understand, we'll get some more information about that because it's like public records. But how I understand this happens in America is that you put an offer on a house, and then you've got like a couple weeks to get your inspection crew in and make sure everything's like up and up. They're going to see the shower, and then they're going to ask for probably a discount. Then they're going to see the April, who's kind of like the house spirit. Do you have those in America? House spirits, like ghosts that just like the friendly ghost that lives at your house, like that's. But she's like Gollum in the attic. They're going to see that. They're going to ask for another discount because where else can she go? She doesn't have a fucking job. And apparently, she can't stay in the big house with Master. So I imagine that April comes with the house. So that's a pro or a negative. There's also a very funny, like this is not true, but it is very funny that Josh Moon, the owner and operator of the Kiwi Farms, is moving back to America right as we speak. Now, I understand he's moving to Florida, but if it turns out he just buys the Baldo bunker and makes it the Kiwi Farms headquarters, that would be very, very funny. So he has the opportunity to do something very, very funny, and he's too cowardly to take that choice. But no, I mean, obviously, that'd be a terrible idea to move in next to Nick. And also to give people your public address, but it would in my head that would be the best outcome.
April's going to be out on the streets. Which remember, April, contact Null. There's money sitting there burning a hole in his pocket. Give us discovery, and that money's yours to shove it up your nose or to get inked up and look more degenerate. Whatever you want to do. $6,000. It's all yours.
That's American
Just
dollars.
reach out. Or even, you can even use me. I'll be the intermediary. Potentially criminal at gmail.com. Ape, I know you can do it. I know you got the signal. Nick has not turned off your internet again, hopefully.
There you go. So Sean is asking, does he want a piece of the cut? I assume he would be doing it pro bono because he just wants to see the body cam footage. But Sean is very graciously offered to be an intermediary for Josh of the Kiwi Farms and April of the Nick REKIETA Farms. All right, so that brings us to the interview with Mrs. K. Mrs. K, this is REKIETA. Oh, wait, I should tell you, by the way, before we go, I'll just go back for a second. If you like this guy, I'm sure you've seen him if you're on my channel, but it's Potentially Criminal on YouTube. His name's Sean, so I call him Potentially Sean, but he's actually Sean. And he answers questions and he likes sandwiches. And also that was clipped by Alyssa Clips, who does a lot of good content mostly on REKIETA, but apparently some other people as well recently. You got to be subscribed to all the clippers if you want to get all the good angles, because like some of them miss, like you need like a team of clippers to get all the good details. Like this one here, we're going to watch is Will Herren, TV's Will Herren, as he is a professional and pro bono A-log. And this is Mrs. K. Now, Mrs. K is a Minnesota native who doesn't live too far away from the courthouse. And if you've missed the previous episodes, Mrs. K went to, I guess, was it April? No, sorry. I believe it was Kayla's. I believe she went to Kayla's hearing, and she got pressed. She got pressed by Nick. He showed up. He did his spooky worm skeleton stance, He started recording her, then he said he wasn't recording her, and he fled away. And then he fled to Melton's chat, where he was talking about how, you know, how it's like, oh, they're all just jealous. They all just wish they looked like April. So this woman, she has a bit of a history, as I understand it, with abusive parents. Basically, her parents did to her something very similar to what Nick and Kayla did to their own kids. But I think her situation was probably a bit worse from what it sounds like. But we don't know the whole story. But she has decided to be the in-person court reporter for Will Herren, and she shows up and does an interview all the time. If I would criticize one thing about this, is that this should have came out days ago so that I could have included it in my previous stream, because I had to do a follow-up stream just to cover this. But apart from that, let's see what they have to say. This is on TV Will Herren's channel, and it's called "REKIETA Sits Down with the Source. I'm not an addict. It's fun. Strangers can't care for your kids." Let's have a look and see what it says.
Sat down with Nick. We got a wild story review coming up right now, but I'll just start things off with
yeah,
hey,
she's a concerned citizen.
Good to see you again. How have things been? You know, been a couple.
All right, before she answers this, we're gonna do a room check, okay? And you usually have to look for like Will Herren's, like he hides his face and everywhere, but I guess this is an interview he didn't do in this one. But you know what? This looks like a pretty nice house. This looks very cozy. You got your Christmas tree in the back there. You've got your lights. You've got your Christmas station. I don't know what this is. It's like a little. Oh, it's a Christmas mailbox. Look at that. So it's like a little. I guess you put your Christmas letters in here. Maybe they have like a Secret Santa going on. And Mrs. K's house. Yeah, it seems nice. This seems cozy. I would rank this as very, very merry and jolly, and it looks nice. I don't really put up decorations, so it's kind of nostalgic to see. But nice.
Weeks? Yeah, things are kind of hectic. Christmas season, so yeah, things have been kind of crazy.
Christmas is behind you. I see a tree. I see a table. I see lights. Like, let's go back. So I guess we don't really have to backtrack. You were at the first two hearings, so you had saw him the first time. Second time, not a lot of talking with him, but this third time, let's start with you getting there. What was it? Looked like it was snowing out there. Like, what was it like showing up?
Yeah, it wasn't a forecast to snow, so you know, I did not expect that, and you know, with all the back roads out there, it was kind of scary. More so on the way home, but yeah, wasn't expected.
Last time,
it sounded like she got home safe, unlike somebody that crashed their Shelby GT Mustang the first time they took it out on those icy roads. Can be dangerous. I'm kind of envious, honestly, of people that get a lot of snow. I get a little bit of snow in my area, but not so much. Although I might go skiing next month. Who can say? Depends if I got enough free time. I don't think I do though.
You had gotten like kind of stuck behind people, and so it slowed you down getting there. This time,
a tractor. I got stuck behind a tractor last time, going like 20 something, and it made me late. Yeah.
So,
on a curvy road, so I couldn't pass. Yeah.
This time you get there, it's snowstorm.
Yeah. So I got there, and went in and went upstairs. The hallway was completely empty. It was just so quiet. It was eerily quiet.
Better small talk. It's fun.
The courtroom door, thinking maybe they had already started. I was a few minutes early, and there was another case going on. So I sat out in the hallway by myself, and then I was like,
this is where it gets
in my
interesting.
notebook, just like waiting, and I glanced up to look at the time, and right as I glanced up, Nick, Kayla, and Nick's lawyer were walking towards me. And
so this is where the story gets a little bit more interesting. You see, the Baldo man decided that he wanted to have a second encounter with this woman. The first one didn't go quite his way, but he's going to change a bit. Now, I previewed this video, but there's a part 2 that I haven't seen just yet. So I'm not sure what goes on in this one. We'll see what's going on.
Like, were they looking at you as they're walking towards you? Like, did you like kind of see them coming towards you? For them, like, these guys are coming to talk to me, or were you just kind of, you looked up, and then there they are.
They were.
How come I'm not subscribed to Will Herren? I should subscribe and like the video right now. That's weird. I must be subscribed to my other channel.
I don't know if they came out of a conference room or up the stairs. They were right around the stairs when I saw them, but I think they were already there before I got there. I thought I saw his vehicle out there, and I didn't see him anywhere. So I think they might have been in a conference room. So yeah, I look up and I I saw them and I took note of what they were wearing. I know people want to know what they were wearing, so I went to write down notes on what they were wearing.
What were they wearing? How'd they look?
Okay, well, we don't need the fashion report. Okay, I'm not one of those people that really care that much. But I guess it's just part of the story.
The healthiest I've seen him out of all the hearings.
Oh, that's nice. Nick's looking good.
And Nick was wearing like a nice blue pinstripe suit, and Kayla was wearing like a tweed skirt and like a little short blazer jacket. It's cute.
Do you look up there they're at? Is this when they came towards you, or did they just kind of go back into their meeting?
No, I was I started writing down what they were wearing, and then the next time I look up, Nick's standing in front of me looking down at me. And
came to stare her down. Now Nick loves to talk to women, especially in elevators, cornering them and stuff like that. So he decided to come up and say hi to Mrs. K.
And then
yep, exactly that.
What was that like?
It caught me off guard. And he's like, can we talk?
Okay.
And I said, sure. And then he sat down like right next to me.
Now, before he say what he does, what do you think Nick wants to talk to her about? And no, she's not being invited to add to the polycule, even though they do have an open slot now that April's apparently gone. But this is a weird little thing. I wouldn't have expected Nick to talk to this woman ever again, because it's gone so badly for him so far. But when you're down, that's the best time to double down. Well, let's see what happens.
And
he wanted to talk about anime.
Are you guys in a?
He's like, yeah, have you seen Redo of the Healer? Brings out his he opens his jacket. There's the Blu-ray DVD copy, and he's got those old. Did you guys ever have the PlayStation Portable? No, it wasn't the PS. It wasn't the PSP. Sorry, there was a PlayStation Mini, and you could get you could use it in the car, and you could actually play DVDs on it. Me and my brother would do that when we had those long country drives. He breaks out that, and. It breaks out that Redo of Healer. I mean, it's a long one, not the UMDs. It's I can't remember what it was. It wasn't the PSP, but it was it was a smaller PS, like a travel PS or something. I can't remember exactly what it was.
A double seat kind of thing? Is it
a
bench rows like you were talking about earlier?
It must have been the PS one with the LCD screen. Yeah, there must be it.
So it's just bench along the wall, single along the wall.
I think this person had it. It must have been this.
Yeah, so he sat right next to me. His lawyer and Kayla stood to the side. They were whispering, talking a little bit, and
2-3 feet away. Are they like close to you, or
Yeah, they were close.
Okay, so everybody can hear each other basically.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think they could hear. Yeah. When he sat down, I instantly had a visceral reaction.
So that's the thing is there's no recordings, because when they enter the courthouse, they have to put their phones in a locker. So there's no recordings. That's why Nick had to run out of the courtroom last time to go get his phone so he could record what this woman looked like. He had to run in front of her. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to catch her. So this is it. It bears. We may as well say it, right? This is this woman's her interpretation of events, and it's her word versus nobody. So she could be lying. We don't know. But given what Nick has said about this person in the past, I would believe Mrs. K more than I would believe Nick. So I think she's more or less pretty reliable. I mean, obviously she's going to have her own biases and everything like that, but don't we all? Don't we all?
It was my adrenaline started pumping and I started shaking, and I didn't expect that either. Yeah. Oh, and yeah, when he said, can we talk? He was talking in a really soft spoken tone. And, I said, sure. He sat down, and yeah. And I started shaking, and I didn't realize it was so noticeable, but his lawyer glanced over and said, are you okay? Yeah. Kayla, I think went to the bathroom at that point, but yeah, he said, are you okay? And I said, I have severe anxiety.
Yeah, he's got his unholy aura turned on, and it causes shadow damage every time he looks up.
Affected me more than I expected it to, the case. And then I started, since I was having such a strong reaction, my mind started falling back to my therapy. And thanks to my therapy, I started doing my breathing and grounding techniques. So I was doing that to calm myself down in that moment. But Nick didn't seem phased at all. Like, he acted like nothing was like out of the ordinary.
What did you say to the attorney?
I had told him that I don't know if I said I have severe anxiety or PTSD, something to that effect. And then Nick started talking. He just continued on, and he said, I think we started off on the wrong foot, and I want to apologize for that.
Okay, this surprised me. Okay, I like where this is going. You know what? This might be... Is this the beginning of the good boy Nick arc? He wanted to apologize. Now, if the story ended here, but, I mean, you've probably seen the time bar. We're only 6 minutes into a 20-minute video. The story keeps going. If Nick had gone up to her, said, hey, look, we got off on the wrong foot, I apologize, and then walked away, that would be a Nick W. That would be wow, holy shit, I would not expect him to do that. But that's not what happens here. That's not what happens here. So we're left to infer what was his actual motivation. But he goes up and says, I'm sorry. We got off on the wrong foot. And he was being an asshole when he encountered her. Now, of course, anyone would be unhappy if they're coming to watch and report to the internet your trial. But his actions were completely unhinged the last time he encountered this woman. So when I heard this part, I was like, oh, okay, this is actually maybe good. Maybe he's got some festive holiday joy. Maybe his heart grew 3 sizes this day. But doesn't sound like it if we continue the story. So let's see what she says.
And, I assume he's talking about, running down and recording me. And then taking that footage and going to Melton's chat and posting it there, the most unflattering picture of me, and calling me a hobgoblin, So I guess that's what he was apologizing for. But
He apologized. I mean, let's, okay.
Yeah, I told him I appreciated it. I said, I appreciate
Cool. That's cool.
Yep. But he was speaking in like an uncharacteristically like calm. It was like a calculated tone.
Ooh. Now, again, it was the calculated tone of the man with the dark aura. Now, again, this is this woman's interpretation. Did this happen like this? Probably. But there's no way to verify this. And it's going to be her interpretation of events. So I'll just put that as a caveat out there. Although I think she's been mostly reputable so far. So I don't see any reason to doubt her right now.
It's unsettling because, that's not the Nick I've seen. It didn't seem natural.
You can always trust a scummy person to be scummy, but when a scummy person starts being nice to you, it starts throwing up those red flags, those little warning signals in the old noggin, right? What is he trying to, like, I think that most of the people in chat probably have the same opinion of what I'm thinking is like, okay, so what does he want? He's being nice. What does he want? That's the question.
So,
what did he start to say? So
because like, realistically, Nick has nothing to gain from interacting with this woman. That's why going up and apologizing and then just walking away would be the perfect response. And she probably would stop coming to see his things if he did that. Be like, oh, okay, maybe I feel a bit bad for him or something like that. He actually is a person. He said sorry. That's fair enough. All right, let's go on with our lives. But yeah, it's like, what does he want? That's the real question. What does she want?
He said, sorry, things kind of got off to a bad start. Did he go on from there? Did you respond to that?
Yeah. So, my mind was racing through this. So this whole conversation, I don't know the exact order of what things were said, but everything I'm going to share was said, maybe paraphrased a little bit, but it was said. It may be out of order a little bit, just for full transparency. Like, yeah, my mind was racing and trying to like remember it all. And I wasn't able to take any notes about it because right after we went into the courtroom.
You also weren't recording. You're not a superhuman computer brain. Like, also to show the judge, we had no recording devices in there. So
that's a skill issue. Like, she needs to focus on her mentat training a little bit. Record everything perfectly.
Yeah, exactly. There's all pen and paper and what you remember. So don't
Yeah.
stress that part. If they don't understand you're a human, then they can jump in a lake.
Yeah.
Oh,
So yeah, he started saying that he said he had a chance to speak to you.
Hi,
And
Nick.
Oh,
he said,
interesting. I didn't know this. Like, what did he say to? Do you think what happened here? Did he talk to him in person, or did he DM Will? Like, what's going on here? I would assume it would just be a Twitter message because that's his usual MO.
I have a better understanding of where you're coming from now. I know you've experienced trauma, and I know that affects how you see all of this. And then he said, all
right. So he goes up to her. He says, look, we got off on the wrong foot. I apologize. I'm sorry. But I know what you've gone through. I know you've had a lot of trauma. And I know how that affects your perception of things. All right. So he just starts off with gaslighting her. Not a great look. Now, like I said, this woman, in her previous interviews with Will Herren, she's talked about her own trauma as a child and how her parents were, I believe, drug addicts and very abusive to her and her siblings, if I recall. So she does kind of see, like, there is a lot of parallels with this woman's story and the one going on with Nick's family, which is what I believe why she's so interested in this case and why she's decided to start going there. That's true. Gaslighting isn't even real. It's very true, very true, very true.
Sorry you've had to deal with all that. I hope this helps you in some way.
That's a weird thing to say. I hope this helps you. That's not something you should say. That's very, very condescending, but okay.
So he went on to say, I want to assure you that my kids have never been neglected or abused in any way. He said a lot of the same things he's been saying other places, but to me, and in a creepy, calm tone of voice.
You thought that was kind of creepy?
Yeah. The almost like you would talk to a kid.
But so he says that stuff. Do you respond to him? Does he keep talking?
It was probably his chiding voice that he was using.
Yeah. I told him that I hope that that's true, that his kids have not been neglected or abused. And I acknowledge that there is a possibility that my experience, it could be affecting the lens, which...
No, this is a mistake. This is a mistake. You should not say that to him. Don't give him an inch. He'll take a mile. He's trying to find, like, he's needling. He's looking for those weak points. And you say, like, oh, I know you had some trauma. So that means that Nick has obviously seen the Will Herren interviews as well. So he's been researching her, finding out, he's like, because he thinks he's a bit of a master manipulator. He thinks he can find the thing that people care about, and he can kind of get in from that angle. He must have read it in a book or something about how to deal with people. But we'll see.
I see things. I'm open to that possibility. I think my experiences have given me more intuition and insight into things, but I'm not so closed-minded to think that it can't color my interpretations at all. But I said, even if
he did play D&D, so I guess
experience neglect or abuse before the arrest, that they have experienced trauma from the arrest on. The fact that their door was kicked in, and that.
Yeah, and this is absolutely true. Like, if Nick ever says like his kids have never suffered anything from his actions, or they've never seen any. Well, first of all, it's just beyond the bounds ridiculous when he says that the kids have never seen him drunk or on anything, because the kids are constantly breaking into his room when he was streaming. The first point. And like, even his father said in the court documents that he'd never seen his own son drunk, which is just a bold-faced lie, because Nick's father was in the chat of his stream many times when Nick was drinking and very drunk. And not only that, to imagine that Nick's been alive for what, like 45 years, and his father's never seen him drunk when he's drinking constantly and has a big whiskey collection. I don't believe that for a second. And I think you'd have to be stupid to, honestly. The kids saying that, like, one of the kids said that they would look after the parents in this case. So they would have to be able to recognize drug use and what to do in those situations, or it wouldn't make sense. And this is the same kid that Nick said has no idea what drugs are at all. It just doesn't make any sense. These details are just stupid. But yeah, so Nick's family is absolutely affected by it. Like if he says, well, my actions have no effect. No, they have. They have. Now that doesn't mean that the kids can't recover. That doesn't mean that they can't go on to be fantastic, wonderful people. I'm sure they probably will, right? They've got some very rich parents, very rich grandparents, I should say. And I'm sure that they've got a support network out there. And they sound like they're pretty independent anyway, except if they need Aaron to make them SpaghettiOs. But to say that nothing has affected them, to say that this won't be with them for the rest of their lives is just denial of reality. It will always go with them. They'll always remember it. And it'll just be something that they have to overcome to reach those great lives. So when I hear like, oh, this has no effect. This has no effect. It's just, that's just cope. It's just cope.
They saw their parents arrested, that they were questioned by CPS and taken from their home.
But I disagree with this chat saying the kids will never recover. No, kids can recover from quite a lot. Just because their lives were destroyed when the cops bust down the doors, but that doesn't mean they can't recover. It doesn't mean they can't get back on track. And I think they probably will. They'll probably hold resentment against their parents for the rest of their lives. Maybe they might not realize it. Maybe it'll be one of those subconscious things. They'll certainly never trust them like they did before. The first time you see your parents fail you is a pretty traumatic thing for a kid. And it happens to every child. Eventually, like your parents do something. Maybe they yell at you when they're angry. Maybe, you're like they're putting up like a painting and they're like, pass me a hammer, and you give them the wrong tool. And they're like, what? I asked for a hammer. You remember those sort of things forever. It's just the way life is, right? Those like really traumatic or loud moments in an otherwise calm life will stay with you forever. But again, it doesn't mean you can't become great. But Tourette, welcome to new member. Thank you very much. Much support. Like it for the stream. Let's go. Let's fucking go.
I mean, that's all trauma. And, so, yeah, I told them everything they've gone through it's no doubt been traumatic for them, regardless of what was happening pre-arrest, is what I said to them.
Like, hold on a second. Saying that's traumatic for you? Lol. No, it's not. It's an example. That's an example. When your parent, like if you have a parent that one day just yells at a kid, yes, that is traumatic for the child. Now, is it being like beaten? No, it's not the same thing. But yes, it is traumatic. And yes, people remember that. That's what I'm saying. And it happens in everybody's life. There's very, very few parents that have a perfect score. Every parent's made mistakes. But these mistakes are a magnitude of greater than every other mistake that we've seen.
I told them that what they've experienced may not present issues until years later, but that it's likely they can't even comprehend or process or verbalize what's affecting them yet. And I emphasize that early intervention for trauma is key for healing, because the longer you wait, the more therapy you have to do to get over it. The more damage it does the longer you wait. So if you intervene early.
When you said those things, that's kind of moving, talking about how this would affect the children later down the line. What did he respond to that with, or did he just get up and leave? I mean, if someone, told me that what I did, is going to have lasting effects on my children's mental health years down the road, I would, either be angry with you, or I'd like, okay, how did he respond?
He looked away when I was saying that stuff. He said he wanted to assure me that they take the children's well-being seriously. Is how he responded to that. And then he said he can't go into a lot of it because of the case, but he wanted.
Well, apparently he should be able to go into all of the details on January, right? Because that's when it's all concluded after the plea agreement.
To assure me that he wanted to reiterate that he's not an addict and never has been an addict. Those were just fun things to do.
He said they were fun.
Now, this is one of those things where He just needs to stop saying he's an addict. He's already admitted to being addicted to EverQuest. That makes you addicted to video games. If you're an addict, you're addicted to things. The idea that he's not addicted is just ridiculous. Now, addicts can get cured, sure. Addicts can stop when the serious things happen. Absolutely. Has he been using drugs recently? I don't know. Probably not. Has he been using alcohol recently? Probably not. I don't know. Apparently, he is showing up smelling like very heavy cologne and having wintergreen mints on his mouth. So maybe he's trying to hide something. I don't know. But he was an addict. And I think the biggest evidence of that, not just seeing him being an addict on screen, but was when he started to bargain to change deals so that he could drink more, like he's doing with the prosecutors to try and get those 2 years of probation gone. It's like, well, it's my friend doesn't drink in January, so I won't either. Well, I meant on stream, but I'm allowed to drink before the stream, 5 minutes before the stream. That's okay. That's addict behavior. Come on now.
Fun things to do.
That's what he said.
Like, did he specifically say like the drugs were a fun thing to do, and the hanging out, or being with April and Aaron? That was, no, you just say
He said he wasn't.
I got a comment. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he said he wasn't addicted to anything.
Except April's pussy. Am I right?
They were just fun things to do. But he has not had a problem quitting.
I mean, he clearly has. He clearly has. Was he pissed hot on one of the first court cases? He had to wait until the government told him you can stop doing that. Oh my goodness.
Did he look like he did? Well, you say he looked healthy. So yeah, and the best you've seen him in a minute. So
I mean, he's clearly addicted to lying as well. So there you go.
I noticed his eyes were really blue again, and all the.
Oh no! Wait a minute. I know what he's addicted to now. He comes in smelling like cologne, maybe a touch of cinnamon, blue eyes, wintergreen mouth. He's doing spice. We found it, guys. He's worshipping Shai Halud. He's on the spice. That sweet, sweet Arrakis melange. Oh my goodness. That's why he thinks he's coming up and speaking to her in those quiet voices. He's trying to use the voice. It makes sense, right? Because he's always seen himself as a god emperor, so now he's trying to become one. What is spice? Arrakis' finest, Kurt. Arrakis' finest. Extends the life, increases consciousness, but it's very addictive. And once your eyes go blue, you can't leave the spice life. And the spice must flow, as we know.
Recent videos I'd seen, and in the past court hearings, his eyes were really dark for being normally really blue, like in the old Nick videos. I've been finding that strange, that I don't think I've ever seen anybody's eyes change color so much without colored contacts.
It's literally spice.
I did notice his eyes are like, they were really blue again.
Wow, so you guys are looking in each other's eyes. Like, this is
he was
personal
right,
moment.
Yeah, it's exactly like the
he
pillow
was
limit.
right here. Like, yeah, he was right next to me.
Did he seem clean?
I need a picture of could someone get me a picture of Nick in a still suit with the eyes of a bard? That's what I need. That's what I need right now. We'll see if it happens before the end of the
clothes
stream.
are clean. He seemed washed.
He was worm maxing last year. In that photo of him, he was worm maxing. He's trying to become the God Emperor. He's getting the sound trouch and he's put them on his body. That's the new high, is becoming half man, half worm, and living forever while you lead humanity down the golden path. Holy shit.
So, like, I had to ask that because, we don't see it. But, you know what I'm saying? Did he seem kempt?
Yes, he did. He did. And he seemed clean and sober. He said their oldest child has been incredible throughout all of this.
Yeah, so the oldest child, they literally said to the court that they would help, like a 16-year-old would help keep their drug-addled parents sober. How do you hear your son? Like, I'm sure Nick heard that and he was proud. But how do you hear that and not go into depression and despair that you've been such a pathetic piece of shit, that your kids are stepping up to the plate to look after your addicted ass? Holy crap.
That they are.
Oh, wow. We hit the goal. The pizza goal. We got a $50 super. That means I'm buying pizza tomorrow. Thank you very much, S-Pellers. I just put up a joke goal, by the way. But thank you very much. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you. But I will actually use that money to buy pizza. So Pizza Day is back on the menu, literally, for Friday, I guess. Well, pizza and beer with the bros on Friday. I'll try and get Ozzy on, try and get Andrew on, and anyone else that used to hang out with us when we were doing those streams with old Jeff, and have a bit of the things. Hitting a goal is another win for the toe. Well, Aaron's goal is much higher. Like, he doesn't have a goal of like $300 a day. Like, honestly, if he's been hitting that, good for him. That seems like a lot of money to grift for the show that he's putting out.
Continually impressed with how mature and grounded he is, and they've been able to lean on him for support, and that he's amazing. Which,
sure, I'll show you the pizza.
I just want to say, I've done a lot of therapy myself, obviously, and there is a name for that, leaning on your kids for emotional support and treating them like an adult, and putting that, it's called parentification. It is a form of trauma too. It can cause trauma.
All right, I've never heard about this before. Parentification. I'm going to take a look at this. Because like some of these look like regular things that children should be doing. Like there's nothing wrong with teaching a child to do chores or helping look after the younger siblings, but when they're responsible for doing the entire thing, or like, or especially this one, when the child becomes emotional support for the parent, that's like real creepy shit. Like when parents like, look, I know this woman. I don't know her. She like pops up on my timeline all the time. She lives in Japan, and she's very, very cringe, and she thinks of herself as somewhat of an authority on things that go on in Japan. Now, I was kind of semi-following her, but she kept on posting a lot of like anti-Trump Vance memes, which I thought like, oh, this will be really funny to see what happens when Trump wins. And she posted one just before the election, and then when Trump won, she lost her mind. She lost her fucking mind, and it was glorious. She took her 2 children out of school for a week, fled Tokyo, and went to the countryside to go look at trains. I'm not even joking. She's like, I'm not gonna name her. That's weird. But she's like, I need my emotional support children to come to the countryside with me because Trump is now president in a country that I don't live in. Holy crap. No, you don't know who this is, BP. This is like someone I've never met in real life. But she's very, very cringe. And I thought it was very funny that happened. I think she's back in Tokyo now. She also fled to Blue Sky for a little while. But now she's back because apparently the Blue Cry doesn't have enough numbers. Apparently Mark Hamill's going fucking insane over there, but I don't know. Yeah, like, if you're relying on your children to be your emotional support therapy animal, that's just pathetic, in my opinion.
Can you explain it, what it is, what it means?
It's when you put adult responsibilities on a kid. It can range from anything from having a kid take care of the household, all the adult duties of running a household.
Now, again, there's a line here because children should be responsible and children should be doing things that teach them how to be adults. But people hear this sort of statement of these things and they'll be like, well, you don't want kids to do chores, you some sissy. No, it's not like that. It's not like that. There's a spectrum of these things. Okay. It's okay to make kids do chores. Okay. But we're talking like EVS levels, right? Where it's like, well, those kids should be looking after the entire household, washing their clothes, cooking the dinner, and serving their master parents. That's what we're talking about when it comes to parentification in this story. It's not just, oh no, they've got chores to do. It's not that. It's different. Ring the bell. Oh, I don't know why. Why you want to ring the bell? Okay. There you go.
Kids, but it's also putting emotional things on them that they're not ready for, that aren't theirs to carry. Emotional burdens. Using them as a confidant keeping secrets, telling their kids secrets that the kids can't tell other people.
Of course, BP would say this. He's got himself a little army now over there. You better be careful now, BP. They outnumber you now. They outnumber you over there.
Family members, CPS workers, that kind of thing.
What effect does that have on the kids?
It can confuse them on boundaries, on making connections with people. It can shut down parts of their emotional regulation.
So to read out a few of these, like a child should not be paying the bills unless it's like you're doing it while they're watching, so the kids can learn a bit, it's a child's responsibility to pay the bills. It's a child's responsibility to look after a child. It's the child's responsibility to take themselves to the doctor. Given too much for a child to handle, serves as a mediator in adult arguments, those sort of things. That's too much for a child.
And also, one of my siblings was parentified to an extreme, and as soon as she got on her own, she went wild because she didn't have all those responsibilities anymore. And so different kids with different personalities react different ways, but it can cause the issues.
Thank you. We got it. We got an update. We got an update of Nick. There we go. This is the actual photo of Nick. His eyes look blue. He's accepted the new way of life. And he's doing well over there. He's got his little still suit on. Very good. Very good. Just what I was looking for. Look at those baby blue eyes. Oh, yeah. The life's coming back to his face. Very good. Very good. Oops.
So.
And you know a lot about this because you've dealt with this type of environment before.
Yes. Yeah, my mom put a ton of stuff on us that,
he's dunk
the whole secrets thing, leaning on us.
He's dunking on these Karens.
Telling us sexual stuff that she shouldn't be telling us. Reminiscent of the April Nick tweets about the kids, that kind of stuff.
Let's go back to that.
Yeah, that's a pretty good example. That's a good example of things you shouldn't be telling your kids, is when you have your mistress explain to you why you're the second mummy, while Big Mummy is in the big bed, the Minnesota King, that usually sleeps 4, but it's only got 1 because Nick is too busy banging his mistress and explaining to his kids why it's actually cool and based. There's a very funny clip from Arrested Development where the father's explained to the son, making up lies throughout the years. So it's he keeps skipping out on his son. He's he can't take him fishing because he's oh, I got to help this. It's always a hot chick. And he's I got to help this lady find her dog. And then it's a few years later, oh, I got to help hand out some flyers today. I've got to go volunteer at the, and then the last one is just he's look, kid, you're old enough to understand this. I'm banging this broad. That'd also be a very funny Nick at it. Great show, Arrested Development.
Conversation. You guys are still talking to each other. You're kind of feeling these weird vibes. Go on.
I told Nick that I took issue with the fact that he's going around telling people that strangers can't care for his kids. And I said, I think that's ridiculous. I said, I gave him an analogy. And I said, it's like seeing a child drowning in deep water. You don't have to know them personally to recognize that they're struggling and feel compelled to throw them a lifeline. And I was like,
that's a pretty good analogy. I like that.
And he looked away. I swear, I think he rolled his eyes. He was saying all the right things. He was speaking in that soft tone. But when I would speak, his body language gave him away.
When you push back.
Now, here's the thing. There's 3 options here we need to consider. There's one in the chat for this one. Was Nick being sincere? He just wanted to apologize and explain the situation because nobody can understand it like he can. Of course, with your mind expanded by that much spice, you have a special view of everything. So that's option 1. Was he honestly trying to be sincere? Option 2, he was trying to be sincere, but he got aggressive when she didn't respond the way he liked because he's autistic. And autistic people get very upset when things don't go the way they think it will. So that's option 2. And that's why he's rolling his eyes, is because he's like, he thought he knew how she would respond. Or is it option 3? 3 in the chat. 4, he's trying to manipulate her and he's very upset because it's not working. And he's not as much as a mastermind as he thinks he is.
Any feedback I gave him, his body language would then betray him in that he didn't want to hear what I had to say. Like, which then led me to believe what he was saying wasn't sincere.
From the beginning.
And more calculated. Yeah.
Nick is not autistic, but doesn't he need a book to understand social interactions? Pretty sure he does.
Yeah. Like he had an agenda.
Wow. What do you think the agenda was?
If only he'd accepted those
to get
books
me
from
on his
Montoya.
side, to maybe to get me to stop talking.
Wow. Was there more to the conversation?
So he, someone walked up. I think was it I don't know. Is it a prosecuting attorney here or DA or whatever? The lady.
I assume the DA. I assume.
Yeah, her. I think she walked up and Nick was like, "Do you need me?" And she said something. I think she said they needed something, and he said he needed to go to the bathroom first, and then he'd be back. So as he was going to walk away, I did say that I said, I sincerely wish the best for your family, and I hope that you guys are able to give the kids a home with the happiness and stability they deserve. I said, I genuinely mean that. And Kayla said, thank you.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
Tried to smile. It was like a forced smile. And Nick said, I believe you.
Does he?
Believe you?
Does he?
What does he believe?
Yeah, I think he believes me that I was being sincere.
Wow. So when did Kayla walk? Was this when you were talking to Nick and telling him about, the drowning child analogy and things like that? Like, where was she when you were pushing back?
I was into the conversation and I don't remember what point she walked back up.
Wow. Was she in the background, like giving you codes, like, help me get me out? No.
I didn't notice. I was
call 911.
No, Kayla's concerned because Nick's talking to another woman, and she just wrest her grip away from April. So Nick is concerned. He's like, oh no, do I have another woman to compete with? That's what he's worried about. Oh, that's what Kayla's worried about. He's like, gotta watch my man now. Every time he talks to anyone.
Oh, when he walked away, for a while me and Kayla were just sitting there, just the two of us. And I didn't say anything to her. I didn't look at her. She was at that one end of the bench and I was like,
why not? Talk to her. You're there. You guys already communicate. I mean, I'm not trying to push you out of it.
To me, I was open to talking to her, but I didn't
You're in.
Yeah, I don't want to intrude on them. If they want to approach me, I'm open to talk, but I'm not gonna push. I don't have an agenda.
I hear you.
Or does she?
Yeah.
I, with a £5, says the father of the lead singer from Chili Peppers shared his drugs and hoes with him when he was a teen. Better father than Nick. I guess you mean like his son. That's pretty fucked up. But I guess sharing is caring, right? But thank you for the £5. Much appreciated.
Definitely. I would come in with like a question. I know it's from the armchair quarterbacking, easily to say, but yeah, dude, I would think of a question for Kayla just for that situation, just in case. I mean, not like how's the weather. I don't know. What is Kayla like? How's the CBD oil or something?
Now I have to criticize Will here because he's allegedly a reporter, but he doesn't know what question to ask Kayla, so I'll help him out. Clearly, the question that you would ask Kayla is, Mrs. REKIETA, what do you think of the pairing of Lieutenant Worf and Jadzia Dax? Now, I think that she was a better match for Julius. Was it Julian Bashar? They obviously were made for each other. Now, I know that, like, obviously Cisco and and Marlo O'Brien, they both came from Next Generation as well, and they transferred from the Enterprise to DS9. But I kind of felt like the Worf introduction was a bit contrived, honestly. Not that I'm a Worf hater. I like Worf, but I don't know if Worf the Worf X Dax, like what's your take, Miss REKIETA? We need to know. Jadzia Dax was insanely hot. Yes, she was. There was too many cuties on Star Trek. I will but how did they get away with 7 of 9? How did they fucking get away with that? That was like, oh boy, it's time for Star Trek hour. Oh, here we go. Jesus. Oh man. Was her name Jerry Ryan? That was what a time to be alive. To be a teenager and watching Voyager when 7 of 9 joined the crew. Holy shit. Kitty with $2 says, nerd. Okay, hold on. We'll have to play the thing. We'll have to play the tape, Jimmy.
Nerd! As a jock, it is my duty to give nerds a hard time. Hey, pal, did you get a load of the nerd?
Pardon me?
There we go. Also, I saw a very funny thing that I have to. Bill Wilson says, more like 9 out of 10. That's pretty funny. That is very, very funny. Very good. All right.
Like,
so that's what you need to ask Kayla.
Something like that, just to get her talking. You never know. Like, Nick might reach out to you. So you guys finish talking. She gives you like a half smile. He gets up and leaves. They scatter. They go together. How does it work?
I think the lawyer went to talk. I think he's the one who went off with the DA.
So when she says the lawyer, it's funny because she's not referring to Nick because nobody sees him as a lawyer. There's a funny little subconscious feltoning that she's just dealt out to the Nick boy there. It's like, well, the lawyer went to go talk to somebody, and Nick was just there.
And Nick went to the bathroom, and Kayla sat at the end of the bench.
That's where she sits when she's watching Nick and April go at it as well, at the end of the bench. All right, there's one more here. Now, I have not seen this one, but apparently there's a fun little reference to this stream in it. So let's take a look. We might do it at 1.25 because this is we've all got families we've got to get back to, right? All right, this is part 2 of the interview. We pick up after Nick finishes speaking with Kay and gets up. Yes, part 2 for all the. I know there's some people in the chat that don't like listening to these interviews. Well, you can suffer. Suffer. No, but it's 1.25, so it'll be another like 10, 15 minutes or something. We'll see.
And they went over to the door right outside the courtroom where that was going to be held. And I started writing, and I heard kissing noises. And I did glance up, and I couldn't see Kayla because he's so tall and his back was to me, but he was leaning down. They were making out.
Making out, like probably like Tiger, like
right in the wait, Kayla and Nick going at it in the courtroom. I mean, a little peck on the cheek, that's fine, isn't it? Performative. I'm thinking of that meme, you know, when like they hold on. Okay. So we gotta add some spice into this stream, right? So let me. All right, this is sorry for the flashbang, everyone watching on dark mode. All right, so this is since Mrs. K does not want to draw for for her court reporting duties. I'll have to do this for us. So we've got like, oh wait, hold on. I need to figure out how to fucking do this. There we go. All right. You've got Nick. And you've got Kayla. And we'll have to put like a little bow on her like this. There we go. So you know it's her. And I have to put some Coke lines under Nick's eyes there. You've got the tongues are coming out like this. There you go. That's perfect. So this is what the court reporter is reporting. This is what it looks like. And then you have This is Nick's interpretation, of course. So you have a very angry Karen over here who's looking on in jealousy. She's very grumpy. And there we go. And then oops. There we go. We've got the cool kids over here making out in courtroom. And, you know what? We need a judge, right? The judge would be like down here. I'm not going to draw a ball, though. There's the judge. They've got the little gavel. And they're going to bang, bang. Bang, bang. There we go. And the judge is saying... That's a pretty fucking terrible G. There we go. Guilty. ... of being based. Oh, based in cool. There we go. There we go. This is the court reporter. What do I spell kids with a B? Gibbs. Shit. Oh dear. Just realized. Like, you guys don't understand. The computer screen is mirrored, so I'm writing everything backwards normally. So this is actually very impressive. I could write this legibly. These damned kibs. They won't go away. All right, sorry. Yeah, that's going to be my new NFT. Sell it to Nick for 60K. These damn kibs and shit. Yeah, there we go. Anyway.
Well, you know, you can like.
No, I didn't see any of that. But
it sounded like they were passionately kissing.
It's fun.
I heard. It was like we weren't right next to each other, and I heard it. So that's my attention. I was like writing, and then I heard kissing noises, and I was like, I look up. And it's like, okay.
So they're like kissing each other, basically.
Yeah, I don't know if it was for my benefit or like for appearances, or if it was genuine. I don't know.
I think they're into the exhibitionism. I think that's what it is. Sorry.
Was there ever any kissing there when April was there?
No, he went and hugged both of them. But
oh my god!
And of course, April was not there this time.
No.
No April at all.
Oh, very.
You should ask Kayla, where's April? That should have been your question.
If I did ask anything, it would have been probably something about April.
You won.
How she feels about April.
Wow.
Tell her I'm rooting for her.
Yeah, you go, girl.
I'm rooting for her.
The attorney.
I'm rooting for her to get away from Nick. I should have told her to just. I hope you lean on your family. That's what I probably should have said.
Yeah, that'd have been a nice thing to say. Okay, so you guys are finishing up the conversation. They get done. They start making out, and then they walk past you and they leave. It's over. What happens?
They were standing outside the courtroom. At one point, they went in. The bailiff stood up there, and I went over to him and asked if after the closed door conference that they were having, the lawyers were having, if they were going to put anything on record. And he's like, I don't know. He's like, I don't work here that often. I'm just filling in today.
Yeah, I just wear a badge. I'm here every day. You're right. What would I know?
Yeah. So yeah, he didn't know.
Why?
So I went in the courtroom. Nick sat at the front table. Kayla sat in the front bench, and there was another person that showed up, and they sat on the back bench. I sat in the middle. So there was one person in each row.
Are you like working closer to the front each time you go?
No, I won't be in the front unless there's no room anywhere else.
You saw Nick's side or Kayla's side?
There's no side. It's just.
Do you think they were a Kiwi farmer? I know I talked to you about this before. Herren had said that he had somebody there. Was it that person, you think? What do you want to talk about with that? What did you say?
Well, after it was, after the hearing was over, the DA came out and she said, she said out loud in the courtroom, looking at Nick, that nothing on record is what she said. Nothing on record. So I forget, somebody said, okay, so that's it. It's over. And
it's over. It's all over now.
You know, no judge in there. Again, same as last time. And I expected that. I just was hoping maybe they'd put something on record this time. I believe Nick and Kayla walked out first. And then me and the other person went into the hall. I forget what we asked the bailiff. We asked, so what's next? How do we find out, you know, what happens from here? And another bailiff walked up and he told us that it was going to be, I think, January 24th. The other bailiff walked up. We were like, okay. So then we went.
Good bailiff.
Huh?
You got the good bailiff this time.
Yeah, that time, yeah. So yeah, I think maybe Nick and Kayla went into a conference room after that because they weren't outside when we went downstairs. And then we did briefly stop and talk. But yeah, they said they were. I believe they said they were a kiwi farmer. I think they said they were a fan of Kino Casino.
Oh, cool. So
Kino, they can't keep getting away with it. Oh my gosh.
Nothing to do with Aaron though. Aaron's source wasn't there. Aaron's person who says that he got all the information
Casino
from. You think Aaron
wins.
maybe got it from Kiwi Farms? You think that's what it was? Like,
I think Aaron got a super chat from this person saying they were at the hearing and nothing was going to happen until the 24th.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Things are kind of winding down. You're hanging out with the Kiwi farmer person, and you guys take off. You see Nick leaving, or what goes on?
I told them that I was going to try to get a video of them leaving, and they said bold. I said, yeah, I got some last time, and I encouraged them to get video, and they did. They went across the street.
There's more video.
Over by where Nick and Kayla were parked, and we were parked in another spot. And when
this is like a cryptid sighting, like is there like the Bigfoot turn?
Parked in another
Let's have a
spot.
look at this close up. There you go. It's a cold day in Minnesota.
When
he turned, do you see that? The camera guy flinched. It's like what we need is the edit where this is like the footage from Signs, you know, where the alien like walks out of the grass, because he like the footage got like Kiwi farmer who like don't need to be afraid. Okay, you're allowed to record next. See,
when
he turns and then he's like, oh, he hides his camera. Okay, come on now.
When they came out after they got to their vehicle.
But yeah, I need the reaction with the guy where he like, you know, he's like watching the thing. He's like, oh my goodness. Oh, she's wearing a skirt in this weather. Oh. Look, I can accept. I know, I can understand. You want to look good, but like, get some snow pants on, woman. It's cold out there.
They went across the street and were going to their vehicle, and I rolled down my window. I said, "Did you get this?"
That head turn is so good. It like cuts right at the head turn as well. It's like the perfect jump scare. Like, look at this.
They crossed the street. And
all right, here it is. We're gonna go frame by frame. This is the spooky head turn. By the way, you can use the arrow. You can use like the little arrow keys to do frame by frame on YouTube. It's kind of fun. Oh, hold on.
Their vehicle, and
there you go. I got it. That like last spooky head turn is so funny. This one. It only lasts a frame. He knows. In that moment, he knows. You can actually tell you can actually pinpoint the moment. He knows a Kiwi farmer is in the room. It's like, that Kiwi farmers. Is that a Kiwi farmer? Is that a Kiwi farmer? The Kiwi farmers are everywhere. The jump scare's pretty good though.
And I rolled down my window. I said, "Did you get video?" And they said, "Yeah." I was like, "Cool."
Nice. And then that's when you got your video.
Yeah, I got the little bit I got, with the snow and I
Slenderman, yeah.
It's very I do not want to be the person out there just like video. I do feel weird. I do feel like a stalker, like video, taking video of people like without their knowledge. But it's weird.
You just have to know that if you're in public, you can be videotaped. I mean, I learned that from the business. Like, it doesn't bother me the least. It doesn't bother me to shoot. Like, but I do understand other people being like, "What is this guy doing?"
I don't get this. So like, I can't film myself in public, which is very, very frustrating as someone who does YouTube. But I'll waste so much time just waiting for people to leave the room or leave the area so I can film something, because I don't like filming other people and I don't like filming myself either. Which again, it's not a great trait to have when doing content is how you make a lot of money. So it is what it is. It is what it is. But Americans have like a special ability just never to be embarrassed in public or something. I don't know what it is. Every other nation on earth feels shame. Aspen Form with a 2 says 0 degrees with snow is shorts and tank top weather in Minnesota. But like, is that 0 degrees Fahrenheit or Celsius? You got a C there, so it should be mean Celsius, right? But I think you mean below 0.
Of privacy, like, and I understand those feelings. I really, really do. But I mean, I'm not telling you, but like, people have to get over that. They just have to. It is what it is. We live in a world where that just happens now. So you can understand or you can cry about it. So,
well, I do it for you. So
I know you do a great job, and I appreciate it. But I hope this gets you a little bit out of your shell, you know, and kind of like showing you can do this. You know, there's nothing wrong with that.
You know, my family cannot. This is so out of character for me. Just speaking in public, the whole thing. They cannot believe that it's me doing this. They're like, this is so not like you. You know, I've never been one to talk in the live chats or leave comments.
It's kind of endearing. It's kind of sweet that she's bonding with this Kiwi farmer and like she's becoming more confident. You know, you find personal growth from many strange avenues in life.
Like, I am a lurker, a silent observer. You know, like, so this is just so out of character for me and not comfortable whatsoever. Yeah, at some point in there, I told him, I don't remember it chronologically where in the conversation it happened. Or what he said that made me say this, but I told him with all my experience that I don't take people at their word and I judge people by their actions only. You know, when he was telling me something and I said, you know, basically I'll believe it when I see it. Like,
what was his reaction?
Talk is cheap. It is kind of a blur. You know, with my anxiety and with my trauma, you go into a state of, your nervous system goes into a state of dysregulation, and it takes a while to come back out of that. And it takes, and if you don't know the techniques, the grounding techniques,
this is not true, by the way. You're not even supposed to record Japanese people in public either. And they actually specifically have a law, which is a public annoyance law. It's usually only used on men that are recording women in public. But women can actually get you arrested if you're recording in public in Japan. Again, it's mostly for like literal upskirt stalkers. But no, the laws in Japan are quite strict on these things, actually. It's not like America. Americans get away with a lot of stuff. Yeah, public annoyance, I think it's referred to, actually. But it's specifically for really weird men. In theory, a man could bring this against a woman, but it never happens. It never happens. But because it's just like some really weird shit goes on in Japan because there's so many weirdos. There's some, like, if you ever talk to like a female American in Japan that lived in Japan, they can probably tell you some pretty weird stories, especially around March and April. March and April is the end of the financial year in Japan. I'm not sure about how it works in America, but I think most countries do like December, January, whatever. But around that time, people get really stressed and all the weirdos sort of come out, quite literally. I remember hearing one story where a woman was walking home and she was being followed by a car. And, you know, she thought she was being stalked and like she was about to get kidnapped. But then she went up to confront the guy. And it was literally a guy that was just like driving, like, I don't know, as slow as he possibly could. And he was beating it off while she was just walking through the street wearing normal clothes. Like not even like American normal clothes, just like normal clothes. And he was just like following her and having a wank while watching her walk home. And those sort of stories are actually pretty common in Japan, especially for foreign women, because they seem to notice it more. Like I told you guys, like this summer, I went for a jog and I jogged past my train station and it was like summer, sometime in August or September. And there was a guy looking through the cracks in the fence, just wanking. And the funny thing is the train was arriving at that very moment. So maybe he was wanking to the train, or maybe he was wanking to the women that were behind the fence. But it's like, I saw him from a distance, and you know, you can kind of like, you know, when a guy's taking a piss, you can just tell he's got that piss stance. You just know that he's taking a piss even before you see anything, right? So it was like kind of like that stance. I was like, is this guy taking a piss? But then his hand was like moving up and down, and I kind of slowed down to see what was going on. And I was like, holy shit, he's actually beating it. No, because like he didn't notice me until I slowed down I like ran past him. I saw him from a distance. He was looking at the thing. But, you know, we passed and eyes locked and the trains arrived and it was like, That really happened. You see some weird shit. And I got kind of embarrassed because like I did a quick glance, like I did the quick glance and I kept moving. I didn't stop. But then I ran another 20 feet and I turned back for a longer glance and he was still looking. He was still checking to see if I was watching. And I was like, oh, then it was like really, really awkward. I think he was like, touched in the head or something because there's a lot of free-ranged retards in America, in Japan, and people just kind of ignore them and they just kind of wander the streets during the day and then they go back home at night. So you'll see like people walking around the street just yelling and shit and doing weird shit. And there's one person that always talks to me and says, hello, what's your name? Are you my friend? Sort of thing. It's kind of, and they do it in English. So it's like, it's really awkward because I'm always trying to go somewhere. And they just happen to always be around my neighborhood, like 3-4 p.m. when I'm like leaving my house. Define free-range retards for us. Well, they just let them outside and then they come back at night like cats, like free-range cats. So that's something you do tend to see in Japan. Nobody talks about it. And if something weird is going on and nobody points, nobody stares, nobody laughs like that. So it's like, it's very awkward because everyone's just ignoring everything. All right, let's continue with this story.
It can really mess you up. But yeah, I've been needing to rely on that more. I have been surprised at how this has affected me. And I have realized that I need to get back into therapy. I have more healing to do that I didn't even realize I needed.
You know what's better than therapy is starting a podcast. That works for men. I don't know why women haven't figured this out yet.
Seeing Nick and talking to Nick and watching this up front and close and personal is helping you, or do you think it's hurting you? How do you think it's affecting you in the long run and short term?
You know, it's been difficult, but you know, getting back into therapy is not going to be
they do.
Bad.
That's why. Sorry to interrupt Mrs. K's story. Do they still steal women's panties from drying lines in Japan? Yes, that's why women typically live on the second floor in apartments. If you're renting like an apartment block, the landlord won't let women, or they usually don't recommend that women stay on the first floor because there's no such. Well, most people don't have dryers in Japan, so everyone just has like a clothesline outside their house on a balcony. So women literally get put on the second floor or higher, so that their panties literally can't be stolen from their drying racks. That is very true. That does happen.
So, and maybe I can work through some things. You
but
know,
I'm taller than the average
Japanese.
Japanese.
I think it's triggering because it just brings up a lot of stuff of hearing a lot of things I've heard before, and the denials of addictions and and I don't think we're getting honesty. So it's just like
the resemblance to Sign is uncanny. The way he does the turn of the head, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, it pisses me off. It's like, on who was it? Mean Copium's video back when he
Let's fucking go. Yeah, she's in the chat. She's in the chat with us right now. Oh my goodness. There we do. I heard there was a shout out on this video, so that's why we had to watch it.
There was somebody in chat and in the comments made a joke that I was one of Nick's daughters from the future coming back.
Yeah, I think I said, did I say that, or did someone else say that? Like we were kind of joking about that. Like this woman has such a similar situation to Nick's that it's like, wouldn't it be funny if she was like the grown-up daughter, but then she got sent back in time by some sort of terrible like accident or something, and now she's like, taking like she's just living out her life, trapped in the past.
Or confront them and trying to get them to change their ways, and I think it is almost like that. It's almost like I'm confronting my parents, and I'm able to say things. When it's your parents, you're connected in a way to where you're not able to. You love them, so you're not gonna. It's different. It's different. In this way, I wanted to come out. I was hoping when I first started doing this and go to the hearings and speaking on video, I was hoping something I said might change something for them, might make a difference. And I'm not quite sure that it has, and that's kind of sad, because I do hope that something I have said, anything I've said, will make the kids' lives better in some way. Like just if they can acknowledge that.
Like I'm gonna at the risk of destroying my grift, this woman, if she's listening to this stream, you should not go out and record people in public, even if Will tells you to do it. Now, don't get me wrong. If someone does do that, I will look at it and I will laugh at it. But you really shouldn't do this. Like, I know it's all fun and games, but you know, it's real. I'm sorry. You know, you're never supposed to stop acting, right? You're never supposed to let your mask slip. But even though I do quite enjoy seeing these videos of like the spooky cryptid Nick in public, it's probably better if you don't do this. So, you know, at the risk of jeopardizing and creating further content droughts, okay, just don't. But if she's getting something therapeutic from this, then good for her. You know,
they need therapy, or if they can acknowledge where they have failed and change something, that would be great. You know, and that's been my hope in this.
It's wild. It's kind of unfolded.
It's not trolls remorse. It's not trolls remorse. It's just good advice. Like, there's better things you can do with your time, and you never know when one of these lol cows is going to flip out and start mowing people down or mooing people down or whatever, right? I guess if they're a cow. No, it's just good advice. I don't have any remorse for the things I've done, but like I said, there's better things to do with your time.
All of us at one time, you know, the whole thing going down, like, you know, I do feel kind of bad for Nick, and I know he put himself in the situation, so, you know, there's, you know, I get it, but it's being on, you know, top of the YouTube sphere, the Law Pope, you know, everybody was watching, and the Trad Dad, and then the fall, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's been epic. And Nick's so open, he talks to everybody.
Yeah, since I didn't watch Nick before the arrest, now since the arrest, I have gone down that rabbit hole and I have done a ton of research. And because if I'm going to speak on something, I do want to know what I'm talking about. I want to be informed. So, yeah, I went down that rabbit hole, but I don't have that. Oh, I missed the old Nick. The video the one time I
do miss the old Nick. I do miss the old Nick. People say that Nick's show was never good. No, it was a really good show. I enjoyed it. It was at the perfect time. I could put it on, and for 2 hours I could do some work, or I could, you know, edit some videos, or I could write something up. You know, I could just listen to it. It was just background noise, but it was good background noise. The laughs were there, the giggles were there, and all the funny, crazy characters were there. The problem is that Nick became one of the crazy characters. Like, you used to just bring on retards and laugh at them. Now he's one of them. That's the issue. That's why it's a bit sad, but it's much more funny than it is sad.
Stream of his is what I said before, is when Emily D. Baker was on his channel.
Oh wait, actually, okay, the biggest revelation. It's like when the old Nick was the character. Duh. It's like how Batman is the real Bruce Wayne, right? Like, Bruce Wayne is the mask and Batman's the real person, right? Is that what you're saying?
I didn't like him. He didn't set well with me then. He he irked me, and I was like, oh, this is not for me. So I just didn't go back. And then through the Johnny Depp trial, I subscribed to Alyssa Clips, and every once in a while, like I said,
there's a lot of shout outs. This is the end of the season. This is the end of season 1 of the Baldoverse, and all of the people are getting their credits. So they got this shout out for today was like me, the casino, Alyssa Clips, obviously Will's there. We're all trying to get our names out there because we have to find new jobs after season 1 ends, because the season's not being renewed. Very sad, but it seems like that's how it's going to be. But you never know. Maybe Nick is going to do something crazy. Actually, I think there was I think Sean was saying that he has some information about Aaron's potential case against him moving forward with the digital trespassing, but I don't know if that's going to happen. Maybe that'll be like the non-canon spin-off series or something. We'll see. Maybe season 2 will be good. We don't know. But so far, it looks like season 1 of the Baldoverse is coming to a bit of a disappointing end.
The Baron drama. I casually catch a video here and there. You know, I haven't followed any of this drama like this. This is my first time, like, really following drama, to like getting invested like this in drama. I have followed a few other, you know, communities where there was drama, but I was not invested. Not where I was, like I said, not talking in chats or putting comments in or anything. You know, it's
right in front of your house. That's like right where you live.
Yeah,
you know, like, to be so close too.
Yeah, you can get your own. This is a good thing if you like ceiling cats. If you search for papercraft ceiling cat, papercraft ceiling cat, you can actually you can make your own ceiling cat. I did that before I got my digital cats. I still have my ceiling cats, but if you want to make a ceiling cat to commemorate the end of the season, you just go for this and Tubby Paws ceiling cat. You cut them out and you stick them together, and you can just stick them on your roof like this. You can have your own ceiling cat. It's a very ancient, like this is a meme from like 2004 or something. I think like it's very old. So this belongs in a museum, but it can also belong on your wall.
You know, I mean,
I kind of dove in headfirst to this. I was a little naive. I didn't know the audience. I didn't know much about Nick at the very beginning, and you know, I may have got in a little over my head. I felt like I did at first, but yeah, it's been a trip. It's been wild. I never expected things to affect me this way. I never expected to get this invested. But I do care. And
maybe the real Baldo was the friends we made along the way. How about that?
If Nick can turn things around and, like I said, give his kids the life they deserve, the stability, I would be so happy for them. I know that's what the kids want, and that would be amazing.
You're not turning against him.
No, I would root for them completely, whether Nick and Kayla stay together or not. If they can turn things around for those kids, then I would root for them 100%.
I mean, I can always tell you, like, never feel bad about talking to these people and stuff like that, because you're there, you're basically reporting. So, like, I know you don't get involved either. Like, don't get involved, but you can talk to these people. You're a human, they're a human. Like,
it's a little bit like, what do you mean by that, Will? Don't get involved, but do talk about them, do talk to them, and do film them, but don't get it like. Is that like when you give your friend financial advice, but then you say, I don't know, lol, so you cover your ass in case they make a big mistake? That's what it sounds like. But I mean, don't get me wrong, it is very funny, and I probably will talk about it if you do these things. But yeah, think about the kibs. Okay, it's all about the kibs.
Like I said, if they come to me, I will talk. I'm open to that. But you know, I'm already being called a stalker for going to public court hearings. So
people always talk trash because they're not doing it. They're not putting in the work. They're not putting in the hustle. They just want to throw rocks, and that's
well, it's not,
what people do.
Oh well, they want to know what happens at these things, but I guess they're going to find out like how.
Right, exactly. They don't want you to go because you're a stalker, but they're going to watch.
Yeah, they want to.
Nobody likes to see how the sausage is made, but that's how it is.
So,
all right, so ends up saying thank you for watching and thank you for Miss K for doing this. There is a link in the description where you can help the kids in Minnesota dealing with the court system. Oh, look at that. So there's actually a national, if you'd like to donate to the kids. Look at that. Oh, that's nice. That's a nice little link to include. There we go. I don't think we're going to top this meme today, chat. This is pretty good. We've learned that Nick's back on the spice. He's worm maxing. He's going out on their Arrakis sweet melange. And I'm just doing this to save the kibs. And that's about probably all I have for you until Christmas is over, I guess. If there's some sort of like really crazy thing, maybe we'll talk about it. There's a few things that I've been looking at recently. There's a pretty crazy one. Like, you know that Honey app? The Honey app that all the YouTubers were promoting? Apparently it's just a big fucking scam. Like if you use Honey, the app, the free app that saves you money with discounts, it actually takes money from you. We found out. There's a New Zealand guy of all people did an investigation. I think it's called like MetaMag or something, Metalad. But he did this investigation. But to make it's a great video. It's only like 20 minutes long. But to talk about the Honey scam, basically what they did is it scams literally everybody. So first of all, it scams YouTubers or influencers, if you cringe enough to say that, right? Because what it does is when you put in the Honey app, just before you go to checkout, it opens a small tab and then closes it so that that Honey, and Honey is owned by PayPal, they get the last cookie for the sale. So it actually steals referral links from YouTubers that have their own referral link for products. So basically, you go to PC World or whatever, and you buy like a GPU, and a YouTuber recommended it for you. And the YouTuber also recommended Honey, and they have the discount code for it or what. So Honey will steal money from that YouTuber by getting the last click referral bonus. That's the first way they steal money. Second way they steal money is that they don't actually give you the best discount. They say they do. In all their marketing, they say that they're giving you the best discount, but there's actually plenty of different times when they don't. And actually, if you're a company and you register with Honey, you can tell them what discount codes they're allowed to use and not. So they tell you that you're getting the best discount, but then they'll give you like a 10% discount when there's actually like a 50% discount out there. And the companies make money because you're too stupid. You're too stupid to search for the discount coupons yourself now, because you've just been assured by all the YouTubers that that it's going to be the best discount. So it's actually pretty crazy, and potentially this might be one of the biggest scandals of the year coming in the last few weeks as well. Just don't use it. Yeah, just don't use it. And there's another way they steal money from people. Apparently, there's a part 2 of the video that's coming up that I haven't seen yet, but it looks like what they're doing is they're using gray market codes. So, like, what gray market codes is if you go to Steam or something, like, different regions have different pricings. So, like, people in Brazil can't afford to pay $20 for a game, so games in Brazil are worth like $5, and they make more money in Brazil because people can actually spend money on the games, right? So, gray market resellers will go to Brazil, or they'll use like whatever. They'll spoof their location, buy a bunch of $5 codes, and then come to America, or the online sites in America, right? Like G2A Games, for example, does this. And they sell you the codes for cheaper. Thus, they're losing out of money. And you can be like, oh, fuck them developers, whatever. Yeah, and if it's like an online thing or a digital asset, I don't really care that much. But they're doing it, apparently they're doing this with actual real products as well. And they're causing quite a lot of economic damage. So it's kind of crazy. It really is funny. I think it's MetalAd that did this one, but a lot of people are talking about it as well. Who cares? Well, I mean, if you've got a Honey code, if you're using Honey, and a lot of people use Honey, you could be saving money. You could be losing money, and I'm trying to help you. That's why who cares? People that want to buy presents at this time, especially. Fuck them. Okay. But that's probably the biggest scandal that'll end up at the end of the year. It's kind of interesting. You're getting scammed out of hundreds of dollars in Stoney's gift cards. It's outrageous. Actually, I got a question for you, chat. I've got a question for you. So it's Aaron's birthday. It's Steel Toe Aaron's birthday. When I eventually stop talking, do I stream raid Aaron for a happy birthday, or do I stream raid somebody else? Who else is streaming though? Like, nobody. Was Aussie Overlord streaming? I think he was streaming, but I think he stopped streaming. Do we say happy birthday to Aaron? Do we all go raid Aaron? Because apparently the funny thing is that every time I go live and I talk about REKIETA, apparently I steal like 300 viewers from Aaron, and we stream it basically exactly the same time by pure chance. So every time I go live, it's an L for the toe. The toe wins again. No, I think we have to put it to a vote. Hold on, let's see the Christmas vote with 800 votes, almost 1,000 votes. 85% say Merry Christmas, 7% Happy Holiday Cucks, and 8% like the stream. Well, let's see. Keep streaming. Well, I need something to talk about. I'm running out of topics, and I do have a lot of work to do. Like, just like Nick, I'm so busy and I have so much work to do. But I really do have quite a bit of stuff to do. But we'll do it. Let's see. Stream raid Aaron and say happy birthday. Yes. No. Oh wait, hold on. Suffer. Yes. W for the toe. There we go. This is a legally binding poll, by the way. When the stream ends, this will be legally binding. I will accept whatever chat's decision is. So if you want to make yourself heard, if you want to stand up and be heard, now's the time. Nick is in Aaron's chat. No, pretty close vote so far. Ooh, really close vote. Oh, look at this. 55 to 45. Oh my goodness. This might stop the count. Stop the count. We'll have to see. But yeah, I think we'll do like a Friday stream. If you guys can give me a topic, I'll keep talking for a while. But I think we're kind of running dry. That's all the Nick stuff, by the way. So if you wanted to dip out because you're only here for Nick, I understand. You can take off now if you want. Looks like the toe's gonna. It looks like it's gonna be another fucking win for the toe. What the fuck?
You can't keep getting away with it! You can't keep getting away with it!
He won't. Yeah, you can't keep getting it, boys. How is Bossman doing? I heard Bossman got out of jail. I want to talk more about Bossman, but I think Bossman is like the most unpopular topic that I ever bring it up because I guess a lot of people have problem with gambling or something. I find Bossman very entertaining, but the chat really seems to rebel when I talk about Bossman, which is very sad because I find his story very entertaining. And there's Bossman, what is it? Bossman Crack or something? Yeah, he got out of jail. Another man that keeps getting away with it. Who the hell is Bossman? Bossman is a crack addict that started gambling on stake, and he has no chill, and he loses his money all the time. And he always doubles down, and he always loses everything. And he's had some incredible runs. He'll like ask people for money, and he'll get like $50, and he'll make that $50 into like $10,000, and then he'll lose that $10,000. And it happens every single time. Like he makes like life-changing money to buy like a Honda Civic or some shit. And he's like, I'm gonna change my life. We did it, guys. We believed in it. We got the money. And he's like, I'm gonna play one more round. And he has never walked away, I think, with like a good hand. It's insane. It's some real high energy stuff. And the roller coaster rides are incredible. And like there are times when he got like, I think he won like he played this stupid game called Plinko, where it's like a little ball that falls down and like there's like a 20 times or something. And I think he waged like $1,000 and he made like $20,000 on one game, and then he lost it all like the next few minutes. It's really funny. It's a fake gambling ad. I don't think so. I mean, he is betting with house money though, because they started giving him like well, that's another funny part of the thing is they started giving him like $5,000 a month to gamble with, like literal free money to gamble with. And he keeps pissing them off, and he has to keep changing websites as well. Like the stake is trying to give him free money so that he can gamble and get more people into gambling. And but he keeps just saying that they're all like it's rigged or they're out to get him. Evil Eddie flick the switch. Yeah, Evil Eddie flick the switch, and it's just so entertaining. Like I'll show you a Bossman Crack video. I guess is it called Bossman Crack? Have they been doing anything? Let me see. Bossman Crack. He's just and he like punches holes in his walls and shit. Or is it Crackman Jack? I don't know. I can't find it. Maybe I can't find one. He's a very entertaining person. Bossman Jack loses $50,000 in seconds. Let's take a look at this one. I'm going to skip around. I want to find out where he is. And he does the most degenerate gambling too. Like he doesn't even play like cards or anything. He'll just do like playing the light flip switch button where it's like a 51% chance. Oh shit! Sorry. All right, I want to find the timestamp though. Where's the timestamp? Someone's got to have it here. Let's see. He's got 2,000. Like he's up to 14,000 there. It'll probably be near the end, right? That'll be the finale. Because I don't want to make people suffer through it, even though I enjoy it. But like the thing is, I think it was pretty much Josh Moon to the Kiwi Farms that like memed him into existence because like he had like 100 watches or like hardly anyone, and now he's like one of the most popular gambling streamers, I think, or at least he was because he got arrested. That's the spoiler alert: is that like his parents sent him to jail, basically. There is 6,000, 8,000, 14,000. All right, we'll see. We'll just show a few seconds. It's like this. He'll do this for hours a day. So he's betting $1,000 a spin, and he's got a 0.5% house edge. So he has a 49.5% chance of winning, and he just presses this button day over day. It's like the most instant dopamine hit you could possibly get. So like he loses, he wins, he loses, he wins, sort of thing. 16,000, 12,000, 8,000, 6,000, 10,000, 8,000, $6,000, by the way. Zero. It's all gone. And it's gone. And it's gone. It's all gone. It's all gone. And you see there's all these little details, like his so he's got a hole in his wall in his back here, and he's got a towel over this hole in the wall as well. And his door is off the hinges because he punched down his door, and then they bought a door, but it had the wrong side hinges or something, and he's waiting for his dad to fix it. So there's all these different arcs and things. It's very entertaining. But I know some people don't like it very much. Jimmy Touchdown. said, look at Minnesota LR 83.6D. If REKIETA pleads to any felony, he will automatically be disbarred. Can't think of anything more deserving. But that's like he might just get a misdemeanor, right? He might plead it down to misdemeanors. I could see him getting disbarred though. But for the disbarred thing, I think that if it turns out that the Aaron email interception is real, that would be the most likely occurrence of him getting disbarred. Because intercepting your opponent's email communications with their attorney, that's a big fucking no-no. And encouraging someone to commit a crime as well is a disbarable offense. And he was encouraging people to go through emails and things like that and all sorts of stuff. So suspended is not disbarred. Well, I mean, he has done disbarable things. The question is, will he be? Because like the lawyer boards can be pretty lenient in times. You have to remember there's some really high celebrity lawyers that committed some crazy crimes and didn't get disbarred. Typically, I mean, you could probably get disbarred for quite a few different things, right? But it's usually stuff like fucking with your client's money, or fucking. I guess you could fuck your whoever you hire or whatever, right? Things like that. Like if misappropriating client funds is probably the biggest one. But I'm not a lawyer, so it's all just kind of what I've heard. What is this? What do we got here? Oh, thanks. Alrighty, boys. I think it's time to end. We'll end on. Looks like it's a win for the toe. I can't believe it, chat. It's a win for the toe. So when we raid Aaron, I'll play the Stoney's commercial first, and then they'll play you out. Play the Stoney's commercial, and then I'll raid you to Aaron. But you have to go say happy birthday, Aaron, or W for the toe or something. Is he still streaming? Maybe he stopped streaming, and I don't have to deliver on this. But I'm pretty sure he streams like all day. Wait, did he stop streaming? Where is it? Steel toe. Yeah, if you don't want to stick around to raid Aaron, that's fine. All right, guys, that's it for me. If you see anything interesting, you can always send them through to me, and I might cover it on a future stream. We have done a lot of viewer-suggested streams in the past. Peace out. Stay safe out there. Don't do crack. And if you're looking for somewhere to enjoy a cold $2 can, think about going to Stoney's.
Are you tired of drinking alone, or worse, with boring people? Hi Minnesota, I'm Meme McGill, and do you want to experience the kind of atmosphere where the drinks flow as freely as the gossip? Then come on down to Stoney's in Rockville, Minnesota. At Stoney's, we don't just serve drinks, we serve connections. Some legal, some not so much. Need a spot to discuss your latest scheme, or just want to unwind after a long day of avoiding responsibilities? Well then come on down to Stoney's, where the drinks are cold and the secrets are spicier than our famous Ultimate Bloody Marys. Whether you're planning your next big hustle or just looking for a good time, Stoney's is the place to be. We've got pool tables, karaoke nights, and the only thing more colourful than our drinks is our clientele. Hey look, you didn't hear this from me, but did somebody say $2 cans on Thirsty Thursdays? Why settle for ordinary when you can have extraordinary? At Stoney's Bar, every night's a wild card, and the house always wins. Unless you're buying the next round. Just remember that what happens at Stoney's stays at Stoney's. Well, that is until the next town hall meeting. Just check out all of our testimonials. Stoney's Bar, Rockville, Minnesota.